What's up, YouTube? What's up, Raider Nation? It's 510 Raider, and this past Sunday was not a good day at the office in Denver. Going into this game, I knew we had won 8 straight, but I went back and looked at the last time the Raiders beat the Broncos 9 straight times, and that hadn't happened since the 60s going into the early 70s. So part of me was kind of like, I wouldn't be surprised if we lose this one. And I wasn't surprised. Any given Sunday, and it's a division rival. I was surprised, however, how we lost. I was not expecting the team to pretty much get their ass kicked. And the way that we started out in this game, I'm pretty sure a lot of you were basically like, okay, this is going to be another game that we just dominate the Broncos. And for a second, I felt that too. We scored pretty quickly on that first drive. Shout out to Brock Bowers on a career game. And that's unfortunate for him because he can't celebrate it. What's the point of celebrating when the team gets beat the way that it did? It was good to get off to a quick start. Antonio Pierce kept preaching how our 2 wins were come from behind wins when we were down by 10 points, and that he was preaching that we need to get off to a quick start. And we did that. Instead of being down 10-0, we were up 10-0. It's just as soon as Gardner Minshew threw that 100-yard pick six, it was an entirely different game for the rest of the afternoon. And kudos to the Broncos. They took the momentum, and they didn't squander it. We were going up against a defense that was really only allowing just under 14 points a game since week 1. If you look at every single game for the Broncos, first game they allowed 26 points. Second game, they allowed 13. Third, they allowed 7. The week before they played the Raiders, they only allowed 9. So going into the game, I knew that their defense was no joke. So when it looked like we were about to put 17 points on them, it was just a deflating moment to see them get an interception and run it back for 100 yards. Because every Raider fan watching, I'm sure, felt just like the team. It was like the life got sucked out of everybody. The 2 things that irritated me the most in this game was 1, penalties. And I'd probably say out of every penalty that was accepted against the Raiders, the penalty on special teams at the end of the first half is what aggravated me. Only because that gave the Broncos 3 points. They missed the field goal, and because of the penalty, it gave them 15 extra yards. So they were able to go into the half with a 3-point lead, and they were getting the ball back at the start of the third quarter. The second thing that irritated me in this game was the missed tackles. And when I'm watching football, especially pro football, I get so damn irritated when defenders forget how to tackle. That's your job, tackle. I can't stand when players go for the hit instead of grappling to get whoever onto the ground. At times, I feel like we didn't even try to tackle. I saw Jack Jones and Isaiah Palomau miss way too many damn tackles. And Jack Jones, so far to me, is one of the more disappointing players in the secondary this year. And that's because last season, when AP brought him in, he was the most impactful player in the secondary. Some people that cover the Raiders every day were expecting him to actually have an all-pro type of season. Now I get we still have 12 more games guaranteed, but if I'm just going off the first 5 games, no, he's not playing like an all-pro. Not even close. Outside of our defensive struggles, Gardner Minshew had his worst game as a Raider. He started off great. He was perfect. I want to say he completed his first 8 or 9 throws. But when he threw his second interception, even though I knew it wasn't going to make much of a difference at that point, I was even saying it's time to put in Aiden O'Connell. Antonio Pierce actually does make the switch, and just like I thought it wouldn't make a difference, it didn't. I remember saying on my week 1 recap that even though Minshew didn't have his best game week 1, that Aiden O'Connell wouldn't have made a difference because of the offensive line. And even though O'Connell got us in the end zone late in the game for garbage time points, he didn't do any worse, but nothing happened. The way the second half was going, the Broncos' defensive line was just eaten. I'm sure they watched film and noticed that we just don't have a good offensive line right now. And it was just pressure after pressure after pressure. And as we all know, unlike Minshew, Aiden O'Connell's a statue in the pocket. Now, he had plays where he would move in the pocket, he would roll out a little bit, but he's not a scrambler. So I knew that it wasn't going to provide a spark that everybody would hope that he would provide. Now, that was just for this Bronco game. Who knows what's going to happen this upcoming Sunday against the Steelers? So despite the game being the train wreck that it turned out to be, what really sucks now is Christian Wilkins being put on IR. Max Crosby's all on his own again. No Kuntz, and now no Wilkins. So now Max can look forward to being double teamed and triple teamed all over again. When I found out the news on Wilkins, I thought of what Charles Woodson said on Fox Sports Sunday morning. It just feels like we can never have nice things. I say all the time, whether it's something that the team can control or not, something always goes wrong. I know there's people out there that are disappointed that Wilkins' sack number isn't like at 3, 4, or even 5 like Max, but he has made an impact on the defensive line. He was getting good push up the middle, and that was allowing everybody else to get their sacks. It just stinks now that he's going to be out for a while. But overall, we just got to give credit to the Broncos. They showed up. I know they were tired of losing to the Raiders. Who the hell wouldn't be? When you're a Raider hater, you don't want to lose 8 straight to the Raiders. It isn't fun. It's not fun for a Raider hater to go half a decade losing to the Raiders. I mean, as a Raider fan, it's funny as hell. After Week 17 last season, I was like, damn, we've beaten the Broncos 8 straight times. Damn, Bronco fans, that's pretty pathetic. But hey, all good winning streaks come to an end. It happens. We just got to hope now that if Antonio Pierce makes Aiden O'Connell the starting quarterback against the Steelers, that Luke Getsy puts together a game plan that fits O'Connell's strengths. Because he's a completely different quarterback. But we'll see what happens. And that's all I got for y'all tonight. I appreciate y'all tuning in again. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week and have a great weekend.